or what's known as segmental motion in the spine. If you do a cadaver dissection, it's containing very thick connective tissue, so you're not actually moving by vertebrae by vertebrae, but the goal is to make an honest attempt at it. We're not going to get too much into that today just because spinal mechanics gets very complicated. So what we're looking for is the different types of forward folds. As we categorize it as thoracolumbar, we're looking for T-spine motion and lumbar motion, not trying to separate the two or disassociate like we've done with the other joints here today. So with forward fold, I'm just going to come around. People forward fold in all types of different ways. We talked about what the gold standard would be. Technically, if you look at classic orthopedic tests, touching your hands to the ground is considered to be hypermobile. I would disagree. I mean, I think that it's a standard range of motion and most people should be able to get there, right? So a forward fold that would have a lot of integrity through both like lumbar and thoracic spine would look something like this. So you can see my spine flexes in the T-spine and my lumbar spine rounds. And I can get my hands to the ground relatively easily, right? What you'll often see for a lot of people if they lack something like lumbar spine flexion is this.
Because mine's pretty
Okay, perfect.
I think. So.
Oh wow, that's all shoulders.
Well, it's all T-spine.
Yeah.
It's all T-spine.
You can see like he's relatively flat through here. It's not flexed and rounded, right? And his torso and everything goes more forward. It doesn't collapse over or spill over the thighs. However you want to articulate it, you know, very different.
Could you show us that again on your? Yeah.
So this is.
Why don't we do it simultaneously?
Yeah.
So
Ready?
why don't you face?
Why don't you face
me?
the Okay, yeah, and he's buckling in the knees. So that's hamstrings.
Well, so there's two elements. The sliding back of the pelvis is as a result of tight hamstrings.
Yeah.
When you can't keep the pelvis centered over the heels and it has to slide back, it's because I'm driving into my hip flexors. The other piece is the lack of, and here's the thing to remember, guys, 50 degrees of flexion. That is between each individual vertebra. There's a joint between each vertebra. I want 50 degrees of expansion in each lumbar vertebra. My lumbars aren't spanning at all. It's something I know I've been working on, that's why I wanted to come up, and I've actually improved a lot. But I am not getting lumbar span whatsoever. And this is in spinal. So what I'm trying to do is take my natural curve of extension and flex it open, and I can't do it.
Say that again?
The natural lordotic curve of the spine is extension. When I forward fold, I'm asking it to flex.
Move out of extension.
Yeah, I'm going into spinal flexion.
Oh, because it's concave on this
Right.
side.
So
Right,
right,
lordotic or
Okay,
kyphotic.
yeah.
Look,
Sorry,
lordosis.
I wasn't thinking. Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Kyphosis.
gotcha. Yeah.
So
I was
I'm
just-
asking, yeah, we say kyphosis is spinal
Yeah.
flexion. So and I
Depends
can't
on
do
which
that
way
in
the
my
curve is
lumbar.
going,
So
that makes sense. So
yep.
yeah,
And
gotcha.
one of Josh's cues, which is the one that I use as well, is how soon do I go into my mid-dorsal hinge? When do I activate? And I do it immediately. I mean, when I forward fold, I already bend from here. I've already lost
So
my lumbar.
don't they cue to like I don't know what this is, but they'll like cue you to like go down like
Yes,
this. And
that's
then
isolating
stretch
hip flexion,
around
but
so
that doesn't guarantee. I can do
No.
that. I can do that, and then when I forward fold, I'm still going
you're
for
still
my
going
mid-thoracic.
through there.
It's not improving. I have to sit down and isolate my lumbar spines, the segmental calpes that I love, because that really helps me isolate
Oh, where you're rolling
lumbar
through.
motion. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And people that have it as bad as I had it, they almost can't even move their pelvis, anterior posterior tilts. Can't do them. You can't expect the lumbars to move when you can't even isolate pelvic rotation. And a lot of clients will not be able to do that. You act, and there's your homework, right? They can't even move that relationship forward.
So then what is the cue to get them moving through their lumbar to the thoracic area before they just fold?
We'll go over that in the active piece,
Okay, sorry.
right?
That's okay.
So
I'm trying to
as far as extension goes, you can look, but I always like to palpate with extension. We like to take the hip out of the equation to see how much they'll extend through their lumbar, extend through their T-spine, and extend through their cervical. So I will typically feel. So what I do is I have a client, I typically use my massage table, and I ask them to put their thighs up against there, and I just say, hey, all I'm going to have you do is extend back as far as you can, where you have no pain, right? So go ahead, go. And he's going to extend back, and as the client extends back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to palpate, and I'm going to feel where do I feel most of the extension. And guess what? Like T8, T9, really driving hard. I move further up the spine. It's pretty good. Like his T-spine is pretty good. Get a little bit higher. It's not quite as much. As you can see, you need to come on out of it, breathe. But when I palpated his lumbar, it's pretty flat. But where I feel most of the extension going through is like T8, T9. Very interesting spot.